Hi guys, how are you doing? As you're coming in, let me know who you are, where you're from. It's good to see you all tonight. And as you've seen tonight, we're going to be talking about wedding etiquette, the proper things you must know as a wedding guest. So come on in, guys, and join us. We want this to be a very relaxed, laid back kind of video for tonight. Um, So my name is Miss Valerie. I am with Royale Classy Creations, and as I said tonight, we're talking about wedding etiquette. But before we get started with that, um, let's start with some greetings. Let me know who you are, where you're from, that kind of thing. Trying to see if I see your names as you come in here. Okay, so we're not going to hold up the time. I'm not even sure if I can see the information, but I'll check it later if I have to. So I'm so excited about going live tonight. Going forward, I'm going to be doing more live videos, um, kind of talking about um, different things according to event planning. Right now, we're working on a wedding series, so we're going to be talking about weddings because we have a lot of beautiful weddings coming up in June. So June is wedding season, so we're going to be doing a lot of talking about weddings, and then we will have other live videos where we'll be showing you the setup for events as we do them, the ins and outs, the whole process. Um, the going in, the setting up, the planning, the breaking down, all of that. So we're going to be doing those kind of videos as well. Um, so with these videos, we want you guys to just join in, have fun with us, have any discussions, any questions you might have. You can just ask those questions as we go along. Okay. So um, we're just going to go ahead and jump in because I don't want this video to be very long. So we'll go ahead and get started. So a few months ago, I did a Facebook uh, table talk conversation where we talked about weddings, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we know weddings when we see the whole thing at the end, it's so beautiful and everything turned out so nice, and everybody's happy, they're having fun and all that, but we never actually see what goes on prior to that end result. So we kind of want to go in and talk um, about some of those things and in that whole process. I mean, as an event planner, we are the person that goes in and we're kind of a buffer for a lot of the stuff that the bride and the groom has to deal with. So we see a lot of stuff. So um, that's why we wanted to do this whole wedding series so we can kind of talk to some people. And we want to start with the guests. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. Um, so during this information, we're just going to do a deep dive into the ins and outs of weddings and how they actually get to that end result. So how many of you agree with this going forward? Do you want to talk about weddings? You want to talk about something different? Let me know, and we'll discuss some different things as we go along. Okay. So as you know, weddings can be very overwhelming. Okay, so I thought it would be fitting to address the wedding guests. Um, and we're going to do that by starting with the beginning. We're going to start with the invitation. So with invitations, most of the times when you get an invitation for a wedding, you see that RSVP. Well, RSVP means to please respond. Please respond. Okay. This is not a suggestion. This is a requirement. We are asking you to respond so that they will know how many people will be attending their wedding. Now, for the most part, people do not have a set amount on how many people can attend the wedding. But the reception is something totally different because the reception is something that they have to spend a lot of money on. They have to spend the money for the venue, and then they have to spend the money for the catering. Most venues these days, um, they ask for you to use their catering service. And for the most part, the minimum amount you're going to pay for your people is going to be between $35 and $40 per person. So when someone is paying that much, they need to know if you're actually going to be there. So when they say RSVP, that is something that you must do. And when they're asking you to RSVP and you do RSVP, please show up, because otherwise you're having a situation where they paid their money for you, they paid their money for the seat, they paid the money for the food, and then you don't show up. So that's additional money that they have to pay out of their pocket that they probably would not have had to pay had you let them know that you were not coming. So it's just respectful that you show up, because the venue asks for a final count. When they ask for that final count, they can't go back and change that number. And they usually do that either a month to 2 weeks prior to the event. So when they ask for that final count and they can't change that number and then you don't show up, again, money out of their pocket that they don't have. So just be respectful. Guests, I'm talking to you. Just be respectful because it's not your day. It's not your day. But when it is your day, then you can run it however you like. Okay. Um, so the other thing that we want to talk about, as far as the invitation is concerned, is uh, what has become more popular now is pretty much at any event, not just weddings, but pretty much at any event, they ask for no children. Now, for the most part, sometimes this makes people upset. Um, if someone's asking for no children, they're asking for a reason. Some venues will not allow children. Children. Let's start there. Some venues will not allow children. Um, the other reasons that they may not be asking is probably because they know you, they know your children. Don't know. But that's kind of a trend that's going on now. I don't know if anybody's noticed that, but if you have, let me know. That's kind of a trend that's going on now with any event. I guess it has just been an issue in the past where kids have been, tearing things up. So I don't know. But if someone asks you not to bring your children, please do not bring your children. It's not a suggestion. Just because you thought that it wasn't meant for you, please do not bring your children. Because I would hate for one of these times, and we do weddings, we do a lot of different events where they do not ask for children. I would hate for one of these times that they ask me as the planner to tell you that you have to turn you around at the door, because I would have to do what they asked me to do. So please don't bring your children. When you receive that invitation saying no children, um, again, this is not a suggestion. It's a requirement. You just can't say, "Well, I've been knowing them for years, and they really wasn't talking to me." No, they were talking to you. Don't get an attitude. Get a babysitter. Okay, it's not your day. When it's your day, you can have as many kids as you like at your wedding. Let's just leave that at there, because nobody wants to spend all their hard-earned money to have this grand event for you to have little Johnny come in and tear up everything. Because at the end of that, they get a bill, and believe me, you're not going to want to pay that bill. So just don't. Thank you, Ingrid. Exactly. just uh, just leave little Johnny at home. Find a babysitter for little Johnny. I don't know. Just be respectful. Again, it's not your day. It's their day, and we want their day to be as special as possible. So again, if they ask me to tell you that you can't come in, I just have to do my job and tell you you can't come in. So um, I really didn't want this video to be too long tonight. I will be doing more of these, so I'm going to leave this at that. I have a whole lot more. So believe me, this won't be the last one. I have a whole lot more. So that's all I have for tonight. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Um, because this is my first live, I didn't want it to be too long. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Um, and I'll be back on next week, same time, same day. So at next week Tuesday at 8 p.m. Yes, I will be back on. Thank you, thank you, Ingrid. I will be back on. So if you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and do that and hit that notification bell so that you can see the new uploaded videos. I will have my new DIY tutorial video uploaded on Thursdays. We do that every Thursday. So also look out for that. Thank you guys so much for joining tonight as we talked about wedding etiquette, and we'll see you next week. So have a good night. And as always, be royale, be classy, and be creative.